Erev Tov, everyone. Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could be here. Come inside, come inside. Hat tip to one of my favorite bands of the 70s, 60s and 70s, actually. Good to have you all here this evening. It is Tuesday night. It is 8 p.m. here on the east side of the United States, here in the diaspora. This is the Maimon Beit Knesset. Therefore, it is the Rabbis Discuss, whatever the rabbis decide they want to discuss. And tonight, we are going to continue on with our discussion of the Bahir. And let's bring on Rabbi Ancel. You're on, sir.
I am here.
There
Good
you
evening,
go. Okay, good.
everybody, and welcome.
Okay, so we are going to, and what I did is I did something a little special tonight. On the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you are going to see the actual text of the Bahir as we're going through it. It's kind of small, but hey, there you go. At least we have it up there. Let's see what we have in the chat room. We have Simcha, we have Donald, we have Marshall, and we have Richard. Okay, so last week we kind of stumbled our way through the first part of the first hour of the Bahir, and we decided that this week we were going to kind of do this kind of similar to the way that Rabbi Ancel and I did it during the summer. We actually went through the entire Bahir, and then we went through and we read it again, and then we went through and read it again. What we're going to do tonight is we'll go through a portion of this, and then we'll go back and we'll go over it again. So, sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so
The more you repeat it, the more you understand it.
yeah, so I think let's go from because we left off on verse 14 here. This is going to go into the Beit and then into the Aleph. If we read straight through the Beit and the Aleph and then come back and do that over again.
Okay.
So
we'll do
that's
14.
That's my thought.
Okay. So, why is the letter Bet closed on all sides and open in the front? This teaches us that it is the house, or in Hebrew it's called Beit, of the world. God is the place of the world, and the world is not his place. So it says that you should not read the letter Bet, but Bait, house. So there is a picture of the bed, which is closed on all sides, but open in the front. So it is written then in Proverbs, with wisdom the house is built, with understanding it is established, and with knowledge are its chambers filled. The letter bed showing how it is, it has a tail in the back on the right hand side and is open up to the front. So what does the bed resemble? It is like a man formed by God with wisdom. He is closed on all sides, but open in the front. The Aleph, however, is open from behind. So what does this teach us? This teaches us that the tail of the bed is open from behind. If not for this, man could not exist. Likewise, if not for the bed on the tail of the Aleph, the world could not exist. It's going to be hard for people to understand this, but we will go over it again. So the Aleph shows the bed on its tail. So Rabbi Rahomai said, illumination preceded the world, since it is written in Psalms, cloud and gloom surrounded him. It is thus written in Genesis, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. They said to him, before the creation of Israel, your son, will you then make him a crown? He replied, yes. So what does this resemble? A king yearned for a son. One day he found a beautiful and precious crown, and he said, this is fitting for my son's head. So they said to him, are you then certain that your son will be worthy of his crown? He replied, be still. This is what arises in thought.
Got a little lag there? Ancel? Hello? Okay, so it is thus written in 2 Samuel. Are you back now? Nope, not yet. Are you back with us? And we're waiting. It is thus written in 2 Samuel, he thinks thoughts that none should be cast away. Rabbi Amorai sat and expounded, why is the Aleph at the beginning? Because it was before everything, even the Torah. Why does the Bet follow it? Because it was first. Why does it have a tail? To point to the place from which it came. Some say from there the world is sustained. So Rabbi Ancel has disappeared. There we go. Now if we can get it back here. Are you back now?
Yeah, I was here.
Oh, we couldn't hear a thing.
No, because the screen went black.
Okay, so you should be able to see the screen now.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. So I went ahead and I read the rest of this page. So we're through to the Aleph and the Bet now. So let's go back to where we were.
So you're on 19?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so at this point now we can kind of delve into this a little more now.
Okay. Okay, so let's start over from 14.
Yeah.
So why is the letter Bet closed on all sides and it is open in the front? This teaches us that it is the house, the Beit of the world, and God is the place of the world, and the world is not his place. So saying that you should not read the letter Bet, but Beit, it should be a house, the house of God.
Yeah. So that's a curious statement that they make.
Yeah.
That God is the place of the world, and the world is not his place. You know, we talked about. Well, yeah, I mean that's that's true. God is everywhere. But
That's exactly what it means.
yeah, but I mean the world is not capable of containing him. So he's not. The world is not his place.
No.
Basically, hence why they call
God, the world is not his place. God is the place.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. So the place means all around.
Right. So let's go on. The next page actually shows the Bet here, very large actually.
So
even if you're watching on a small screen, you should be able to see that down in the corner.
Yeah. So it is written in Proverbs that with wisdom the house is built, With understanding, it is established, and with knowledge, are its chambers filled. So when you build a house, you have to have wisdom. You have to know the know-how how to build it, and you need understanding to establish a house. And with knowledge, you create the house.
Yeah. Okay. Let me adjust this here. Okay. Okay. So we're going on to the next page now about more on the letter, but the whole thing about the tail. So again, what we're talking about here is this tail here.
Yep.
Okay. So, yep, going this way. There we go.
So the letter bed showing how it has a tail in the back on the right hand side, and it is open to the front. So this resembles, it is like a man formed by God with wisdom. He is closed on all sides, but he is open in the front.
So what do you take that to mean? He's closed on all sides, but open in the front. So, I mean, we can see in the letter itself, it is closed on all sides, but open in the front. But what is this actually alluding to?
Speech.
Okay.
So you have the back of your head, your spine, the bottom, and your legs, and then the front. You still have, but you have a mouth in the front.
Uh-huh.
What does it mean to you?
I was thinking that maybe it's because open in the front, meaning that he's able to take in.
Well, he can speak, or
Well, what I'm thinking of is
also
more
eyes
like,
that he can see.
yeah, I'm thinking kind of like the, being able to read the Torah, being able to take in what its meaning is and stuff like that. It's kind of like the bed is like a receiver.
Yeah, because it says, and with knowledge are the chambers filled. So
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what led me there is talking about the knowledge and well, I mean the whole thing, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge.
knowledge.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm taking from it.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're on to the Aleph.
To the Aleph. So the Aleph, however, is open from behind.
So let's go to the next page and look at the Aleph. Okay, so it's talking about open from behind. Here, actually, it's open on top, bottom, and front and back.
Yeah.
Actually, so
So this teaches us that the tail of the bed is open from behind. If not for this, man could not exist. Likewise, if not for the bed of the tail of the Aleph, the world could not exist. That's a very heavy statement.
yeah, it is. So if we go back and go over here to the, or go ahead to the Aleph here. Okay, here's what it's talking about. This is the bait here, which is actually part of the Aleph.
Yes.
So, and you're right. I mean, that's pretty heavy statement there.
Yep. So actually, the Aleph is it has both. It is both an Aleph and a bed.
Right. Yeah, the first and the second.
Yep.
So I mean, what's the word for world?
You asking me?
Yeah, yeah.
The Welt.
Huh? No, not in Yiddish. The Welt, I remember that. Okay, so okay, in the Yiddish it's the Welt. In English it's the world. In Hebrew it's what?
I don't know.
World, Earth, the world, Aretz,
Correct.
right? Okay. Now, what's the first letter of that? It's an aleph, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So if you didn't have the aleph, then
There's no light.
the word can't exist. So therefore, the world can't
The world
exist.
cannot exist.
Yeah. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just
No, I'm not. Yeah.
yeah.
I was just wanting to see if you know the word in
this is give
Hebrew.
and take. You know, it's yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
next page.
So again, if not for the bet on the tail of the aleph, the world could
No,
not
could not
exist
exist.
because without the bet, you can't make. Without the bet, without the bet, okay, you can't make the aleph because the bet is actually part of the aleph. And if you
Correct.
don't have the bet, then the aleph doesn't exist, which is the first letter of the word for world. Okay, that was a long way around the bush, but I got there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So illumination preceded the world, since it's written in Psalm 97. Cloud and gloom surrounded him. So it's written in Genesis, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
okay, so if we go back to Genesis, and basically the Psalms basically say almost exactly what it says in Bereshit. Okay, that
Yep.
the world was tohu v'bohu, right?
Yes.
It was void, and it was dark, and there was chaos. Okay, well,
Yes.
clouds and gloom. I mean, that's pretty much chaotic, right?
Correct.
And then God said, "Let there be light." And again, and we talked about this quite a bit. That God said, "Let there be light." God said, let the waters teem. God said, "Let us make man." And God said all of these things. It's these statements, all these statements that God made, and it had to be. And we talked about this whole thing. God said He had to say it because
Yeah, because light was there, but it had no substance. So when
right.
he said, it became light. Because it became substance.
Yeah, and I made this point before. The whole idea in theoretical physics and string theory, or M theory, depending on how technical you want to get, uh, talks about all the elements, everything that exists. When you break it down to its smallest, some say strings, some say E8, but we already talked about E8 in Abraham. But the string theory comes down to that everything comes down to a string. The string vibrates at a certain harmonic. That harmonic is what makes an object what it is. It makes this cloth, and it makes this a bottle, because it vibrates at a certain harmonic. When you speak, and it creates a harmonic. And it's also very interesting too, because the first thing that God creates is light, and light is unique among all of the elements. It's very unique because it's a wave and it's a particle. It's a particle that acts like a wave and a wave that acts like a particle. And it's called quantum something. I can't think of it. Should have looked this up before the show. Quantum, but from this we get quantum mechanics, which is a very sophisticated. So you can see when God creates the world. Even before that, he creates light. He's creating the very building blocks of the universe. He is creating the math of the universe, which is right now, as far as we can tell, quantum mechanics. So again, I find this extremely interesting.
Yep. So continuing, so they said to him, before the creation of Israel, your son, will you then make him a crown? He replied, yes. So what does this
what
resemble?
is this crown?
The Torah.
What do we? Yeah, we always refer to the Torah as a crown. It's like the crown of Israel.
Yeah. So what does this resemble? A king yearned for a son. One day he found a beautiful and precious crown, and he said, this is fitting for my son's head. So they said to him, are you then certain that your son will be worthy of this crown? So Hashem replied, be still, this is what arises in thought.
Okay, this is the whole thing. You know, the first in thought is the last in act.
Correct.
You know, because when a person decides he's going to build a beit, a house, he has to conceptualize it first. Once he conceptualizes what it's going to, he's conceptualizing it in its finished form.
It's the same thing with Hashem. He conceptualized how our planet, how our Earth would look, but then he acted on it and created it. So before it was a thought, and then it became a substance.
Yeah. Again, at this point, it remains in Ein Sof, in that place beyond the 10 Sephirot, to the place where everything lies in potential. So again, it has to be conceptualized first, and then you have to go in and you have to determine, okay, what's the lengths, what's the measures, you have to make the drawings, and then you actually have to build it. When you finish building it, you have what you originally had in your mind as a concept. So the first in thought is the last in act. So yeah, that's about all I got for that. Let's check the chat room here, see if Red Sampson has joined us. Oh, good to have you with us. Hope you come back often. We have somebody new in the chat room. Okay, so so I'm sorry. So we're on to the next one.
Okay, so it's written in Samuel, he thinks thoughts that none should be cast away. So Hashem thinks about everything, about thoughts, and then he will create.
It's
so
not.
Rabbi,
There's no such thing as a throwaway thought to Hashem.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Rabbi Amorai sat and explained on this. Why is the letter Aleph at the beginning? Because it was before everything, even the Torah. So everything was in thought. The letter Aleph.
Okay,
was before the.
So going back again, if everything was before the Torah, it would be in Ein Sof again, right?
Yes.
And Ein Sof, again, spelling it begins with an Aleph.
Yes.
Huh? Okay.
So why does the bet follow it? Because it was first. So why do we have a tail? To point to the place from which it came.
Okay, let's go back.
Some say.
Okay, go ahead.
From there, the world is sustained.
Okay, so let's go back. So the tail of the bet actually points in this direction. Okay, So it's pointing in the, or is it talking about it's pointing to the Aleph itself? Or is it talking about it's pointing to this portion of the Aleph itself? Because, and we've read this before that, this is the upper realms, this is the lower realms. As it is in the upper realms, so it is in the lower realms. And this would be Maim.
Yes.
Another thought. Okay, let's see. To point to the place from which it came.
So,
Okay.
why is the Gimel third?
Yeah, okay, so we're on to the news section. Why is the Gimel third?
It has three parts, teaching us that it bestows kindness. But did Rabbi Akiva not say that Gimel has three parts? Because it bestows, it grows, and it sustains. So it's written in Genesis, the lad grew and it was bestowed. So he says the same as I do. He grew and bestowed kindness to his neighbors and to those entrusted to him. And is there a tail at the bottom of the Gimel? He said the Gimel has a head on the top and it's like a pipe. Just like a pipe, the Gimel draws from above thought through his head, and disperses through its tail. So this is the Gimel. So Rabbi Yochanan said, the angels were created on the second day. It's therefore written in Psalms, he rafters his upper chambers with water. He makes the clouds his chariot. He walks on the wings of the wind. So it's written in Psalms again, he makes the wind his angels, his ministers from flaming fire. So Rabbi Hanina said, the angels were created on the fifth day, because it's written in Genesis, and flying things shall fly upon the firmament of heaven. Regarding the angels, it is written in Isaiah, with two wings did they fly. Rabbi Levitas ben Tavrus said, all agree, even Rabbi Yochanan, that the water already existed on the first day, but it was on the second day that he rafted his upper chambers with water. At the time he also created the one who makes the clouds his chariot, and the one who walks on the wings of the wind. His messengers were not created until the fifth day. So they're talking about Hashem. All agree that none were created on the first day. It should be therefore not be said that Michael drew out the heaven at the south and Gabriel drew out the north, while God arranged things in the middle. So it's written in Isaiah, I am God, I make all. I stretch out the heavens alone. The earth is spread out before me. Even though we read the verse from me, me'iti, from me, that's in Hebrew, it can also read me'iti, who was with me. I am the one who planted the tree in order that all the world should delight in it, and in it I spread all. I called it all because all depends on it, all emanates from it, and all need it. This is they to it they look, for it they wait, and from it souls fly in joy. Alone was I when I made it. Let no angel rise above it. As I say, I was before you. So God is the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I was alone when I spread out my earth, in which I planted and rooted this tree. I made them rejoice together, and I rejoiced in them. Who was with me, to whom I have revealed this mystery? So Rabbi Rahumai explains, from your words we could conclude that the needs of this world were created before the heavens. So he answers, yes. What does this resemble? A king wanted to plant a tree in his garden. He searched the entire garden to find a spring flowing with water that would nourish the tree, but could not find any. He then said, I will dig for water that will bring forth a spring to nourish the tree. So he dug and opened a well, flowing with living water. He then planted the tree and stood giving it forth fruit. He was successfully rooted, since it was always watered from the well. So Rabbi Yanai said, the earth was created first. That is because it's written in Genesis, on the day that God made earth and heaven. So they said to him, is it not written in Genesis, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth? So it's almost like a contradiction, but there's going to be an explanation why.
Mm-hmm.
So he replied, wasn't it light? A king bought a beautiful object. Well, since it was not complete, he did not give it a name. So he said, I will complete it. I will prepare its pedestal and attachment, and then I will give it a name. So it's written in Psalms, from eternity you founded the earth, and then the heavens are the works of your hands. So it's further written in Psalms, he covered himself with light like a garment. He spread out the heavens like a curtain, the rafters, his upper chambers, with water. Because it's written in Psalms again, he makes the wind his angels, his ministers the flaming fire. Finally, it's written in Psalms, he founded the earth on its pedestals that are not be removed for the world and forever. So when he made its pedestal, he strengthened it. It is therefore written, that is not to be moved. So what is its name? And forever, void. It is its name, and the name of its pedestal is world, olam. So it's therefore written, for the world and forever. So Rabbi Berachia said, what is the meaning of this verse? And God said, let there be light. And there was light. Why does the verse not say, and it was so? What is this like? A king had a beautiful object. He put it away until he had a place for it. And then he put it there. It is therefore written, let there be light, and there was light. This indicates that light already existed in thought, but then God gave it substance, and he said, let there be light, and it became light. So Rabbi Amorai said, what is the meaning of the verse in Exodus? God is a man, ish, of war. So Rahumai said to him, great master, do not ask about something that is so simple. Listen to me and I will advise you. He said to him, what is this like? A king had a number of beautiful dwellings, and he gave each one a name. One was better than the other, he said. I will give my son his dwelling, whose name is Aleph. This one whose name is Yud is also good. And this one whose name is Shin. What, what did he do then? He gathered all three together, and out of them he made a single name and a single house. He said, how long will you continue to conceal your meaning? The other replied, my son, Aleph is the head, Yud is second to it, and Shin includes all the world. So why does the Shin include all the world? Because with it, one writes the answer to Shuvah. So the
Okay,
students asked
so
him,
hang
why
on.
is it?
We're moving on to Dalet now. So let's go back to the beginning of Gimel, which
Do
is,
I have,
I
do
mean,
I
we
have to?
we didn't have a whole lot about Aleph and Bet, but Gimel had a significant amount uh, of commentary on it. Let me get back to Gimel here. Okay, so here we are. We're back to why is Gimel third?
Okay,
Yeah, we're at the top.
okay. It has three parts. It teaches that it bestows gomel, kindness.
Okay, so let's I'm gonna flick ahead here to get to the Gimel because I know there wasn't there we go. Okay, so this here is the Gimel, which talks
So
about the
it's a
three.
dalet with a tail.
Yeah, this is Gimel with the three parts. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back here again. I know I'm jumping around all over the place, but I want to make sure that you know what we're talking about here. Okay, so okay.
So, but did not Rabbi Akiva say that the gimel has three parts because it has three things: it bestows, it grows, and it sustains. So that's written in Genesis. The lad grew and was bestowed.
So
He said,
is this actually referring back to kindness?
yes, to the
It
gimel.
bestows, it grows, and it
And
sustains.
sustains.
So kindness is bestowed, and it grows. I get, I mean, an act of kindness does have an effect on people.
Yes.
And it does, kind of soften them to make them a little more kind.
And it sustains because kindness, if you help somebody with kindness, it sustains.
Yeah.
So he said, the same as I do, he grew and bestowed kindness to his neighbors and to those entrusted to him. And why is there a tail at the bottom of the gimel? He said the gimel has a head on the top and it's like a pipe. Just like a pipe, the gimel draws from above through its head and disperses through its tail. This is the gimel.
Okay, so draws to his head and disperses through its tail. So
It goes
I
down the
would
body
think
and
that
down through its tail.
you're bringing it into your head, and the tail would actually be your mouth. Actually, it would be your tongue.
Okay.
So you're bringing the thoughts into your head, and you're speaking them back out again. And again, this kind of goes to what Rabbi Nachman of Breslov was talking about when somebody reads, as we're doing here, saying that the first time through you read it for the plain simple meaning of the text, then you go in and you read it for understanding, and then the third time you go in and you read it for the inner meanings of it. So again, what I'm saying here, and the Rabbi also said that when you read something like this, you should read it out loud. And if you have questions, you should ask those questions out loud. Because again, just like God said, it had to be said to essentially by saying it and putting those vibrations out, it actually gives whatever he said its form and its attributes.
Yep. It gives us substance.
Right. So when we're asking questions or we're reading and we have questions, we ask those questions and we speak those questions out loud, we're creating those vibrations. They go out to the world, and Rabbi Nachman says that when one asks the question, somebody else in the world is giving the answer, and they're sending that answer back.
Correct.
So, through the head and dispersed through its tail. Okay, so we're on to the next page, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So Rabbi Yochanan said, the angels were created on the second day. So it's written in Psalms, he rafters his upper chambers with water. He makes the clouds his chariot, and he walks on the wings of the wind. So it's written in Psalms, he makes the wind his angels, and his ministers from flaming fire. So Rabbi Hanina expanded, the angels were created on the fifth day, because it's written in Genesis, and flying things shall fly upon the firmament of heaven. So regarding the angels, it is written in Isaiah, with two wings did they fly.
Yeah, we did actually have quite a conversation about this. Because I mean, it's the old saying, can't fly on one wing, right?
Correct.
Right?
I know that from experience.
I was going to say, as a pilot, you should know that.
You can try, but it won't work.
Yeah, and it's an old saying for in a bar where a lot of pilots hang out. Have one more. You can't fly on one wing, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so we have two thoughts here. Rabbi Yochanan thinks that the angels were created on the second day, and Rabbi Hanina says that their angels were, and other rabbis agree with him, that angels were created on the fifth day because of the statement from Bereshit that says, all flying things shall fly upon the firmament of heaven. So let's see what else they have to say.
So Rabbi Levadas ben Tavrus said, all agree, even Rabbi Yochanan, that the water already existed on the first day. But it was on the second day that the rafters his upper chambers with water. And that time he also created the one who makes the clouds his chariots, and the one who walks on the wings of the wind. But his managers were not created until the fifth day.
Okay, so basically what he's saying here, and again, I'm getting an understanding of this now, which I couldn't quite figure out the last time that we were going through this.
Uh-huh.
Is that so? Basically, what he's saying is that yes, certain angels were created on the second day, but the messengers were not created. The messenger angels was Aryel, Gabriel.
They were not created until.
Were not created until the fifth day. Those are the angels that came down to, basically those ones that destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Brought the good news to Sarah, and so on and so forth. Those are the messengers. The Metatron is a messenger, isn't he? No, he's the voice. Metatron would have been created on the second day, and Aryel, Gabriel, and some of the other.
Day.
Pardon?
On the fifth day.
On the fifth day, yeah. Yep. Okay, so I'm kind of getting, again, we've been through this 4 times now, and I'm still picking up on stuff.
Yeah, but you see now in 22 they say that they all agree that none were created on the first day. Correct.
Right.
It should therefore not be said that Michael drew out the heaven at the south, and Gabriel throughout the north, while God arranged things in the middle.
So I'm kind of wondering where that statement actually comes from. Where where was it or who was it that said that Michael drew out the heaven to the south and Gabriel drew out the heaven from the north? Because I don't recognize this statement unless it comes from another Kabbalist text. Um, but again, you have to you have to agree with the rabbis here that that's not actually possible. Because
Let's see what says further.
yeah, we'll get a little more detail now.
It is written in Isaiah, I am God, I make everything. I stretch out the heavens alone. The earth is spread out before me, even.
Did we lose you again?
We can
Oh, there
also
we go.
read it, me iti, who was with me. So I am the one who planted this tree in order that all the world should delight in it. And in it I spread all. I called it because all depends on it, all emanates from it, all the need it, and all needed. This is to it they look for it they wait, and from it souls fly in joy. Alone was I made it. Let no angel rise above me and say, I was before you. So actually, he's
Rise
talking.
above it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to delve into this a little deeper, but we are at our halfway point. So we're going to take a quick 6-minute break, and while I readjust everything on my screen here, and
Okay.
it's something when you have to be your own engineer and sound engineer and producer and all that other stuff. It gets a little confusing at times. So
Well, you're the highest paid.
yeah, yeah. I make 10 times what you make, and 10 times zero
I,
is
I don't doubt that very
yeah,
much.
10 times zero is still zero, right?
I,
Okay, so we're going to take our 6-minute break now, and when we when we return, we'll get into that statement a little deeper. So please, everyone, stay tuned.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
It's intermission time, folks, so hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies, everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 5 minutes. The show starts in 4 minutes. The show starts in 3 minutes. The show starts in 2 minutes. The show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
And we are back. So, let us do this and do this. And we'll bring Rabbi Ancel back on. You are back with us, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get back and kind of break this down a little more. So when we left off, this was the section we just read. So it is thus written in Isaiah, I am God, I make all, I stretch out the heavens alone. The earth is spread out before me. Even though we read the verse from me, Meiti, it can also be read me iti. Who was with me. Back now?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. So we're right here now.
So I'm going to read that again. So
Yeah.
it is written in Isaiah, I am God, I make all. I stretch out the heavens alone. The earth is spread out before me, even though we read in the verse from me, may et. It can also be read me et, which means who is with me or who was with me.
Yeah. So in other words,
Yes.
it's a kind of a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
I did this by myself. Who was with me? Yeah.
So because it says, Hashem said, I am the one who planted this tree in order that all the world should delight in it. And in it I spread all.
Okay, so what tree are we talking about?
Tree of knowledge.
Well, is it that or the tree of life? Or is it the Torah?
Torah.
Yeah.
It could be everything.
True.
Because it says, I called it all because all depend on it. We depend on the Torah, all of us.
Yeah.
Everything emanates from it. Knowledge emanates from the Torah.
Right.
And we all need it. Simply made.
Yeah.
To it they look, for it they wait, and from it souls fly in joy. So I would gather that it's what they're talking about is the Torah.
Yeah, it would almost have to be. Yeah. So I mean, to it they look. Yes, we look to the Torah to get direction for our lives.
Yes.
For it
All
they
the knowledge comes from the Torah.
Yeah.
All the laws comes from the Torah.
Yeah. So
We wait
basically,
for it.
this statement is actually in reverse order. To it they look for it, they wait for it, and souls fly from it. If we take it in the reverse order, souls were created in the goof.
Yep.
They existed before the earth existed.
Yep.
Okay? So the Torah, when it was created, the souls flew in joy for it. Okay? And if we go back one more, for it they wait, isn't that Bnei Yisrael before they got the Luchot? Before they came to Sinai and got the
before they came to Sinai.
Right, before they got to Sinai, they waited for the Torah to be given to them, and then the last one, to it they look. From that point on, every Jew out there looks to the Torah for direction. So basically, if we were going to, comment on this, we would say, this statement should be read in the reverse order. From it the souls fly, for it they waited, and to it they look. Okay. Just my comment. Okay. And then again, the last sentence on this page, which is, alone was I when I made it.
Because Hashem says,
Yes.
okay, because the last sentence is Hashem says, alone was I when I made it. Let no angel rise above it and say, I was before you.
Yeah. So, before the earth.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was alone when I spread out my earth, in which I planted and rooted this tree. I made them rejoice together, and I rejoiced in them. So who was with me? To whom have I revealed this mystery? So Rabbi Rahumai expounded on it. From your words, we could conclude that the needs of this world were created before the heavens. So Hashem answered, yes. So what does this resemble? A king wanted to plant a tree in his garden. He searched the entire garden to find a spring. Flowing with water that would nourish the tree, but he could not find it. He then said, I will dig for water and I will bring forth a spring to nourish the tree. So he dug and opened a well, flowing with living water. He then planted the tree, and it stood, giving forth fruit. It was successfully rooted, since it was always watered from the well.
Okay, so let's go back here for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so this is again, and this is why a lot of times this does kind of get confusing, because we talked about this before about the Torah and and God creating the Torah and the souls and all that other stuff, and now Rabbi Rechumai comes along, and he's actually talking about this in a different kind of a scenario. Okay, so at this point, he's talking about Gan Eden in this one.
Yes.
Whereas before it was actually talking about, creation in the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
So Rabbi Rechumai is actually talking about, this is Gan Eden. Okay? What is he? The king wanted to plant a tree. That's the tree of life.
In his garden, so
Yeah.
he's talking about
Yeah,
Gan Eden.
Gan Eden and the tree of life, which is in the center of the garden.
Yep.
And then it says he had to search the entire garden to find a spring, which the spring flows from Gan Eden to the rest of the world, breaks apart into the three major rivers, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so flowing with water, that it would nourish the tree. Again, the tree of life. But could not find any. He said, I will dig for water and will bring forth a spring to nourish the tree. He dug and opened up the well, flowing with living water. Okay. Then he planted the tree, and it stood and giving fruit. Again, we could say that's actually the Torah again, because the fruit would be what we draw from the Torah.
Knowledge. Yep.
And it was successfully rooted, since it was always watered from the well.
So the well being the tree of knowledge.
What, the tree of knowledge or the tree of life? Because we're talking about, at this point, we're talking about the creation of the earth. Life can't exist without the tree of life.
Correct. Okay, so let's see what Rabbi Yana said.
Let's see what he has to
was
say.
created first. Because in Genesis it says, on the day that God made earth and heaven. So they said to him, is it not written in Genesis, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth? So he replied, what is this like? A king bought a beautiful object, but since it was not complete, he did not give it a name. So he said, I will complete it, I will prepare it, its pedestal, and attachment, and then I will give it a name.
Okay, let's hang on. Okay.
Okay.
This is one I really wanted to get into, this whole idea of the pedestal.
Pedestal.
Yeah.
And the attachment.
And the attachment, yeah. Yeah, and then I will give it a name. Okay, so let's just go on. I just wanted to bring that up because I want to delve into this a little more.
Okay, so it's written in Psalms, from eternity you founded the earth, and then the heavens are the work of your hands. So it's further written, he covered himself with light like a garment. He spread out the heaven like a curtain.
Okay, so everybody in the chat, does this sound familiar? Does this statement at all sound familiar? It should, because you say it every single morning when you put on the talit.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
So his rafters are the upper chambers with water, because in Psalms it's written, he makes the winds his angels and his ministers the flaming fire. Finally, it is written in Psalms, he founded the earth and its pedestals, that it not be removed for the world and forever.
Okay, so here, okay, I want to get back into this concept of the pedestals.
Yep.
He founded the earth. Now, the last time we read through this, we talked quite a bit about, because it actually says in here, he founded the earth, and then they refer to not to be removed for the world. So we got two different terms in here. And my point, and we discussed this quite a bit, is why two different terms? If it's saying earth and it means earth, why didn't he use the word earth in the second part of this statement? So obviously we have to derive from that, he's talking about two different things here. He's talking about the earth as one thing and the world as something else. But this whole concept of the pedestals, what's the pedestals? What is it? It says the earth sits on its pedestal.
On its axis.
Well, okay, so the axis, as we know, and it talks about, will not be removed and so on and so forth, the axis is not actually stable. The axis actually wobbles. It has a wobble to it. It wobbles within a certain degree, but it does wobble. It is not a stationary point. But reading this, I'm wondering now, when it talks about its pedestals, what does the world stand? What does the earth and the universe stand on? It stands on the laws God established in physics. Gravity, all physics, it's all interrelated. God, when he created this, God operated within the rules that he actually created. So God works within the rules of physics. And what I draw from this is that the pedestals is actually physics. That's what the world stands on. That's what the universe stands on. Again, chaos cannot exist.
Be moved.
Pardon? Well, like I said, chaos cannot exist. It will come into order at some point. The universe does not like chaos. And we talked about this way at the very beginning. Pardon? Okay.
So what is its name? And forever, Voed, is its name, and the name of its pedestals is world, Olam. It is therefore written for the world and forever. So Rabbi Berachia said, what is the meaning of the verse in Genesis? And God said, let it be light. And there was light. Why does the verse not say, and it was so?
Okay. So I want to jump back here for a second because we didn't actually, we talked about way back up here. He founded the earth on its pedestal, not to be removed for the world and forever.
Forever.
So we talked quite a bit about why the difference between the two. And we were kind of saying, okay, well, the earth is the earth. That's pretty plain. Okay, but what about the world? So in this case, it can't be the same thing. Earth on its pedestal and not be removed for the world and forever. Okay, so we're talking about two different things here. And we're saying, okay, well, the earth is the earth. The world could be the universe, could be the entire universe. That may be what they're talking about here. Or if we go down to this paragraph that Rabbi Ancel just read, maybe the world they're talking about in here is
Olam
Olam Haba.
Haba.
We'll have to delve a bit deeper to find out. Okay, so what was Rabbi Berechiah saying?
So Rabbi Berachia said, what is the meaning of the verse in Genesis? And God said, let there be light. And there was light. So why does the verse not say, and it was so? What is this like? A king had a beautiful object. He put it away until he had a place for it. Then he put it there. So it's written, let there be light, and there was light. This indicates that it already existed. So the light existed in thought. So when God said, let there be light, it became substance.
Or is this the light of creation? Well, actually, let there be light. That would be the first instance, because he created this. He created the sun, the moon, and the stars later. So this is the eternal light.
So Rabbi Morai expanded on it. What is the meaning of the verse? God is a man, Ish, man of war. So Rahumai said to him, great master, do not ask about something that is so simple. Listen to me and I will advise you. He said to him, what is this like? A king had a number of beautiful dwellings, and he gave each one a name. One was better than the other. He said, I will give my son this dwelling, whose name is Aleph, and this one whose name is Yud, and all is good, and this one name is going to be Shin. So what did he do then? He gathered all three of them together, and out of them, he made one single name and a single house. So we can explain that one.
Yes. Go ahead and explain that, because I'm still confused by it. I didn't get it the last two times we studied it.
So what is Aleph Yud Shin?
Ish. Right? A man.
What does that mean? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Lost again.
No, we're still here. We're still here. Are you there? Okay, we spent a lot of time talking about this one, and again, like I said,
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. So we studied this, and again, I just don't get it. Obviously, I'm just not at the right level yet to be able to understand what they're trying to get to here. Are you back? Okay. So what did he do then? He gathered all three together, and out of them he made a single name and a single house. Man. Yes.
Anybody there?
Yes, we're still here.
You disappeared there.
No, we were here all along. Are you back with us?
Hello?
Evidently not. Okay. So, he said, how long will you...
I just came back.
Pardon? Are you back?
Okay. So let's continue.
Well, I'm still trying to figure this out.
So, how long will you continue to assume?
Well, back up. Are you there?
Okay.
Internet in the Dominican.
So he said, how long will you continue to conceal your meaning?
Okay, wait a minute. Go back. Because we still have to.
Us.
You had asked me what the Aleph, Yud, and Shin was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ish, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is that? I'm still confused by this. Because I'll go back. Okay. God is a man of war.
Yes.
And it says, okay, I'm going to advise you. He said, what is this like? A king had a number of beautiful dwellings, okay, and he gave each one a name. Okay, what are these beautiful dwellings? So one was better than the other. Okay. He said, I will give my son this dwelling whose name is Aleph, and this one Yud, and the one Shin, Ish, man. Okay.
Yes.
What are the three? I still don't get it.
The three letters that make up the
I
the
understand
word
that there are three letters, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah, because out of them he made a single name and a single house, the house of God, and a single name is Hashem, is God. God's name is one.
Okay, we can move on. I still don't get it though. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand everything that we are reading in here.
I didn't say that either.
Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff is just beyond me, and I try, and I just don't get it.
You have the book. There's a 9 that gives an explanation to what it is.
Well, let's see.
See, besides
when the
Shin,
gimel
there's a
is
9.
elongated at its head, it becomes a dalet. Left over is its tail, which converts the dalet into a hay. According to the reading of the Vilna Gaon, the Hagra, however, the gimel and the dalet are in place of vav hay. The tail of the gimel is removed, making a vav, and this tail converts to a dalet and into a hay. And again, it still doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
So, I'm going to look at it tomorrow.
Okay. Hang on, I want to just check the chat room, see if there's any commentary in there. No, everybody just listening intently, I assume. Okay, so anyway, okay. So how long will you continue to conceal your meaning? That's where we left off.
Yes. So the other applies. My
obviously,
son,
obviously, it's still concealed to me.
Okay. So he said, my son, the Aleph is the head. Yud is the second to it. And Shin includes all the world. So why does the Shin include all the world? Because with one writes an answer, tshuva. And that is confusing itself.
Yeah.
So we got to read this section over again.
Yeah. Okay. So we are okay. So we're at the dalet now. So let's stop here because I think we've covered quite a bit of ground actually tonight. So let me.
Actually, it's a lot because this 3 letters is quite a bit of knowledge.
Yeah, especially it's just actually quite astounding that there is so much commentary on Gimel as opposed to Aleph and Bet. I mean,
I'm going to look it up tomorrow.
Okay. So we'll have more explanation on this next week.
We'll read that section again next time.
Okay. Good, because like I said, this is 4th, 5th time for me, and I still don't get it. Okay.
Well, Zohar is not something easy to understand.
No, it isn't. But again, each time we read it, we get something new out of it. It's just obviously I'm just not at the level yet that I can see what it's actually saying. So, I mean, and that's the reason why it's just like the Torah, why we read it over and over and over again is because.
I still don't know all of it.
yeah, we just gain more understanding as we go along, and we raise ourselves in levels so that we come to something. We go, oh yeah, that's so obvious. Why didn't I see this before? Okay, Donald says this has been the most wonderful class of all Todah rabbis. Thank you very much, Donald. The rest of you in the chat room, feel free to say anything, something. You know?
Didn't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. If you know what it means, tell me. You know, whatever. I mean, Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do the sign out, and I'll be right back with you, Rabbi Ancel.
Okay.
Okay, and turn the rabbi down there, and there we go. Okay. Don't forget, tomorrow night is the Torah study, the Parsha of the week at 8 p.m. Eastern. Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern is Kabbalat and Ma'ariv Shabbat service. And then Shabbat morning at 10 a.m. is Shacharit and Musaf. Monday at 8 p.m. is Zeta Story Corner. And right back here again next Tuesday, hopefully with some more explanation on Gimel. And the Rabbis Discuss. So I hope you will return with us for the other side, at least for this one next week. Until then, everyone will simply say, Laila Tov.